Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Disney Plus Wave 4, the Konshu Build-A-Figure. And here we have Howard the Duck and Scott Lang. It is not actually a two-pack. They do call it just Howard the Ducks. The Scott Lang head actually ends up being an accessory to the figure. However, the whole thing feels like an accessory pack because if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen the reel that I posted where I opened this package and essentially Howard the Duck and Scott Lang were on the side where the accessories would normally be, and the Konshu Build-A-Figure piece was actually in place of where a figure would normally be. That's for a couple of reasons. Obviously, it's not truly being treated as an accessory, but kinda, but not really, because the Build-A-Figure piece is so large that there was no other way to fit it within the packaging to get that to work. Now, with the Konshu Build-A-Figure and the space constraints of the size of the packages and things like that, I don't know of any other figure that could have worked in this case. I mean, they could have like really stuffed, but I think, you know, how they have them with the cardboard in there was no other way. Do we need the Howard the Duck figure from What If? Absolutely not. Is it cool to have? Kinda. I mean, we don't have very many Howard the Duck figures, right? Toy Biz did one where he, you know, he looked more like Donald. Now we have this What If version, which for the most part matches the MCU version if I'm correct, live action wise. And then there was a Marvel Universe 3 3/4 inch, the one that was in the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive box set, the Collector's Vault. Here we have this version of Howard the Duck, as you can see, in comic inspiration, right? So there's not a whole lot of Howard the Ducks out there. So now we have this version to go along with it. But looking back at the Build-A-Figure piece, this thing is crazy. So the Build-A-Figure is going to be massive, and I can't wait. But let's get in for a closer look at Howard the Duck and Scott Lang. Oh, real quick, the package. What If? We got Howard, Scott Lang, side artwork there. We got Scott Lang head. We got Howard the Duck. Build-A-Figure piece. You can see Howard the Duck. We get the body for Konshu. 3D renders on the back. Nothing going on there. What If? Watcher up top. Now let's get in. Okay, so here is the Scott Lang heads in the jar. So Vision did whatever experiments or whatever and was able to bring Scott back from the zombie virus, but all that was left of him was a head, and it's now here in this jar. This jar piece doesn't actually stay on all that well. You can kind of get it, but then it's feeling loose, and there it goes. So that kind of sucks. The head isn't popping off of here either, by the way. That is glued in there pretty good. As you can see, there is no seam at the neck, so it is all one solid piece. So it's not just a head sculpt that you could pop onto any figure. It is not going to work. It would have been cool if Hasbro did that. Say they have this neck piece and then this head sculpt is popped on there and you could swivel the head around. That would be really cool, because then you could put it on an Antman figure and have your animated What If Antman if that's what you wanted to do. But you cannot. Now, I'm sure some people will cut this bad boy up, Dremel out a peg hole in there, and you might be able to figure it out that way, but otherwise, no, it is not. He is stuck this way. I will show him with the cloak of levitation later from the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man to see how that works, which, spoiler alert, it doesn't actually work, but we will check that out pretty soon. Now let's get in for Howard the Duck. Okay, here is Howard up close. Looks pretty good. Little pupils there. The hat is not removable, by the way. It's a little pliable, so it is glued on there pretty good. We do have neck swivel and I guess a little bit of movement at that bottom of the neck as it moves into the torso there. But that is Howard the Duck. Not a whole lot going on for him. As you can see, he is in suited body, limited articulation. You got the shoulders, so you can get the shoulder to go out so far. You get a full rotation there at the shoulder. Wrist, I mean the elbow has a single jointed elbow, so it swivels at the elbow, and you get just a tad bit over 90 degrees on the elbow, so not bad. And then the hands, the wrists actually swivel. There's no hinge, so they just swivel around like that, and he just kind of has the flat out hands. As you can see there, and he can kind of gesture around or whatever. And then that's going to be it for the upper part of the torso. Again, the neck is on a peg there, and I think you could pop it out. As you can see, it's on a ball peg in there. So you can just move it around a little bit that way, but you know, full rotation if that's how you want to do it, and you can do some pivot kind of stuff, not a whole lot. And then the feet actually have a swivel. There's no hinge whatsoever, just a swivel, and he does have peg holes at the bottom of the feet. It would be nice to get knee articulation, but we didn't. I would say yes, a fully articulated figure would be great. If they can do something like Rocket Raccoon where it's fully articulated and stuff, they could have done Howard the Duck. They just didn't, and it's probably going to be budgetary reasons or whatever that nobody's going to care or give a shit about. But the Konshu Build-A-Figure probably took a huge chunk of the budget. But this thing is super badass, so I'm super excited about that. It's cool to finally get a Howard the Duck. I would like a live action, and then if we do a live action, hopefully they would give more love to it and put in more articulation. But as of now, this is all we got for Howard the Duck. This is all he can do. No, oh shit, look at that. There is a waist swivel. There is a waist swivel. I did not know that until literally just now. So there we go, a little surprise. Like, ha, ta-da, waist swivel on him. So, let's see how many points of articulation. 1 at the neck, 1 at the shoulder, 2 at the elbow, so that's 4, wrist, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points of articulation. Is that right? Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Because there's 2 points of articulation at the elbow. You get the swivel and the hinge. So yeah, 12 points of articulation, better than 5 points of articulation, but lower leg articulation would really go a long way. But it's nice to see that we actually get, you know, at least a waist swivel in there, so you can kind of turn if you know, like what, or however you have it. So there's that. Let's get back to Scott Lang real quick. Okay, so Zombie Hunter Spider-Man came with the Cloak of Levitation, which is cool. The Spider-Man figure by itself is not bad, but we have here the Cloak of Levitation, which in the Marvel Zombies episode of What If, the Cloak of Levitation kind of grabs a hold of Scott Lang and kind of flies around with him like that. But it doesn't actually work no matter which way you do it. You would have to like probably glue it in place or whatever. There's no way it would hold on its own. However, if you remove the glass jar portion, you can do something where it's not really going to hold itself, but if you have something holding up that pedestal that Scott Lang's head is on, you can do that, and that kind of works. But again, it's not perfect fit because the glass jar is truly how it is supposed to be. Okay, and I wanted to try something a little crazy. I got the glass helmet portion or whatever. I mean, it's plastic, but from the Cosmic Ghost Rider to see if it would fit, and that does not fit, unfortunately. So you cannot put this over it to kind of show how the jar glass head look of Scott Lang would have worked with the Cloak of Levitation. Unfortunately, it just does not work out completely on its own, but that would have been really cool. Whoops. Would have been really cool if we could have done something like that, but unfortunately we cannot. Okay, and here's Howard the Duck along with the other characters from the episode. I forget exactly what it was called, but what if T'Challa were to become Star-Lord, or what if Yondu picked up T'Challa instead of Peter Quill? I don't remember what it was called, but it was, I think, in the second episode. So here we have T'Challa, Star-Lord, and Heist Nebula. Nebula still being like the most unnecessary what if figure that we've gotten. We just don't need it like at all. And then now we have Red Skull too. It's just another unnecessary what if figure. And that's the reason why I don't want more what if figures. Howard the Duck is pretty unnecessary as well, other than the fact that we haven't had a Howard the Duck figure, so now we do have one, and they went with something really small to accommodate the Konshu Build-A-Figure torso piece. So it's just, you know, one of those ones where it's like, no more what if. But we'll see what happens, and continues. Howard the Duck is definitely larger than I thought he was going to be initially, but still not the greatest figure, but it's also not as bad as I had originally thought it would be. And then, of course, here's Scott Lang to go along with that. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of that episode that had these 3 characters? And I forget what it's called. You guys can remind me. What if T'Challa were Star-Lord? Or what if T'Challa became Star-Lord? Something like that, probably. Okay, so a pretty wild array of figures. I mean, mostly what if. Is it mostly what if? 1, 2, 3 plus Red Skull makes 4 out of the 7 figures. What if 2 being Loki? So definitely a lot of what if figures. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the wave so far? I don't hate the wave. It is, again, too what if heavy. but I am pleased with it. Konshu will make it all worth it because holy moly, he is pretty goddamn awesome, and I can't wait. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this Howard the Duck figure? What do you think of the Ant-Man Scott Lang head sculpt? What do you think of this wave? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys would like to join the MCU collective and becoming a channel member, hit that join button. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.